My sister spent a year telling everyone my baby wasn't my husband's child, then called it a joke every time. She only stopped laughing at my daughter's first birthday when I reminded her what she did to our dying father. Nora was born with blue eyes. I have brown eyes. My husband Wesley does too. But my mom had blue eyes, and Wesley's father did, so the pediatrician said it was normal. Recessive genes. Simple. Everyone understood except my sister Vivian. At Nora's first family gathering, Vivian leaned over the carrier and smirked. Well, we know what happened here. I asked what she meant. She winked. Blue eyes don't come from nowhere. Everyone stared. Vivian laughed and said nobody could take a joke anymore. But she didn't stop. At every family event, she asked Wesley if he wanted a DNA test. She asked me, in front of relatives, if I wanted to confess anything. Every time, she said, I'm kidding. Except Wesley stopped laughing. I caught him comparing baby photos like he hated himself for doing it. One night, I saw DNA test websites on his phone. Then Thanksgiving came. Vivian gave Wesley a gift wrapped in baby paper. Inside was a DNA kit. The card said, for when you're ready for the truth. Wesley walked out crying. In the car, he said her comments were getting into his head. Maybe we should test just to shut everyone up. After that, Vivian posted real daddy jokes online and started a group chat about my marriage. My cousin sent screenshots. Vivian was taking bets on when Wesley would leave me. I stayed quiet because my mom kept saying, rise above it, she wants a reaction. So I smiled through the poison. I watched my marriage turn brittle. Then Nora's first birthday came. We told Vivian she wasn't invited. She showed up anyway. She walked in with a gift bag. Nora pulled out the tissue paper. Inside was a tiny onesie. Where daddy should have been, there was a giant question mark. Under it, the shirt said, still waiting on results. The room went silent. Wesley stood up. He picked up Nora. He walked down the hall. The bedroom door closed. Then the lock clicked. Vivian laughed. Oh my god, it's a gag gift. Something in me snapped. I told her she destroyed relationships for entertainment. She rolled her eyes. If your marriage is that weak, maybe it deserves to fall apart. Vivian turned toward the door. I followed her. Then I said, leave my family alone or I'll tell them what you did to dad while he was dying. Vivian froze. Her hand grabbed the door frame. Her knuckles went white. She tried to laugh. It came out thin and wrong. I stepped closer. Should we talk about dad's missing $38,000 right here? Her face drained. I kept going. Should we talk about the checks with his signature when he couldn't even hold a fork? She shook her head fast. I said, I have copies of every forged check. I have the fake beneficiary form too. Vivian ran. She dropped her keys twice. Her tires screamed out of my driveway. Nobody laughed after that. Inside, I told my mother everything. After dad died, I found records showing checks and transfers to Vivian during his final months in hospice. Later, the lawyer found more. It wasn't $38,000. It was closer to $71,000, plus a forged life insurance form. I had stayed quiet because I didn't want to blow up the family after dad's funeral, but Vivian had used my silence like armor. That night, Wesley apologized for doubting me. Then he admitted he had scheduled a DNA test. He loved Nora, but Vivian's campaign had planted something ugly in his head, so we did the test together. Not because I doubted the truth, because I wanted to bury her lie with paperwork. The result arrived 4 days later. Wesley opened it with shaking hands. It said 99.9% probability of paternity. He cried. I cried. Nora banged a spoon on her tray like she was applauding the obvious. Meanwhile, my mom and uncle took dad's records to the estate lawyer and police. Vivian called me a liar. Then the paperwork answered for me. Forged checks, electronic transfers, a traced beneficiary signature. She was charged with theft and forgery. Months later, Vivian took a plea deal. 3 years of probation. Full restitution of the $71,000. Community service, a criminal record with her name on it. Wesley hung the court paper beside the framed DNA result in Nora's room. There they were, side by side. Proof that Nora was his. Proof that Vivian was a thief. Nora stared up from her crib with those bright blue eyes, and Wesley lifted her into his arms. For the first time in over a year, there were no questions left.